fiat currency as a store of value. We call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay?
Right? Like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever more. Forever.
Right, I mean, right, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as
forever more.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. 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 We call them poor.
Okay, man, what is going on? What is going on? Hey, this is Gerald Peters. Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody can hear me. Let me know you can. And what's up, Doug? See, got a lot of familiar. Looks like we have a lot of familiar faces. Hey, my name's Gerald Peters. Welcome back to the channel. This is where we do the money flow trading system, and we publish a little newsletter called the Peters Report, where we're trying to share the good news of the 4 stages of price movement. Give me just a second here. There we go. Man, oh man, market's about to close. Big pop here. Let me make sure we're up here. We don't need that one. There we go. What's up, Michael? Gang. Big nice down day here for bonds, huh? Did that update today? Man, it looks like it. All right, we're running into the close here. Let me pull up I didn't have these charts ready to go. Watching the video here into the close, and you'll notice something. Look where it ran up into. One of the concepts of the money flow is this idea that price has memory, and that where price has been before is where price tends to go again. And it tends to be where it gets stuck. And that's how we develop these zones and these areas of like resistance, like we see here, man. Yes, sir. Hope you all are doing well today. What's up, man? What's up, Matt? How you doing, man? Got Matt here. Hey, Matt, don't you live in New York? Major Mills, what's going on? We're on Instagram too. Instagram, if you're on, man, you might want to jump over to YouTube. You can see a little better. I'll put this link. Anything we talk about in here, if you're on Instagram, you can get to it. You just visit my bio link there or go to the website. And that way you don't have to. That was the 1 minute chart. A lot of times you can you can have a lot happen in a 1 minute time frame here. We're headed up. So hopefully we're going to break through this resistance area right up in here. And often what'll happen is as price breaks through there. All right, you did live in New York. I thought I had that right. So we're making a run here. You see NVIDIA at 158? Making a run here into what would be overhead resistance. Looks like it's pushing through. Once we run through as a money flow trader, the first thing I'm going to do on the charts, I'm going to turn over here and I'm going to look at this RSI. And depending on how my time frame is, maybe which RSI I'm looking at, the 7 or the 14. We're breaking through right now. Boom. Let's see. That's nice. Let's pull up Uber over here. I hear Uber had a good day. I've been doing some other work. I didn't have a chance to. Let's pull this up. Oh, yeah. Uber's about to hit $100. Wow. Very nice. Man. I don't know how many times I've. Hot damn, the great stock pickers. Appreciate you, bro. Uber is about to hit the big 100, the big 100. Man, man, it's close, huh? It's got to go to 100. It's going to get pulled there. I'm trying to think. I was trying to quote Post Malone there. What does he say? No, I can't think of it. Yeah, so that's a nice move out of Uber. I know some of us have been playing the URBL, or no, UBRL. This is the 2 times Uber, up 6.6% today. I've traded in and out of this, trading around Uber. I've been a little more hoping I'd see some movement out of Lyft, and we really haven't. I mean, even though Lyft has a similar chart here with these previous highs, you can kind of just see it. You just look across, you'll see the. He said Gramps. What's up, Gramps? Man, how you doing, bro? That's funny. Man, he's a young dude, I'm sure. Yeah, so we got Lyft. Lyft has it. I mean, Lyft had its nice little run here back in April to May. Beautiful run. I mean, we went from $10 to $17. That's a 70% run back here in May. And as you can imagine, once something moves that big, it can take a while to digest the move, And by digest it, I mean the market's got to. It's somehow got to. So there's our anchor point. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got price over the 5. Or underneath the 200. Doesn't too much matter here. There's our breakout, right? Man, I went the wrong way on that one. If you look at this too, look at where we topped out here. Doji. There's a doji at that top. And then a doji. I'm obsessed with these lately. Obviously they're not perfect, but man, they sure do tend to hit at the right time. Hey, we put out a new Substack on the for Bitcoin. It should work if you hit that QR code. Maybe I should double check that before I send people to the QR code. Yeah, if you just hit that QR code, man, it should take you right over there. Boom. Sure does. The MFG Bitcoin trade report. Let's see. If you're interested in being involved in that, let me know, man. We're looking for some help in that. Let's see. All right, so Lyft, I don't know. Lyft's not pushing off today like Uber is. So is what it is. Let me run through the win real quick, see if anything jumped off here. All right, that's oil right now. Oil's a stage 1, but that's Brent crude. I haven't seen USO. Brent crude won't post till later today. We've got Bitcoin still here. Bitcoin still holding that 108,000 range. Major Mill says Wells Fargo raised their price target for Uber to $120. Man, that's nice. It's a nice little, what is that, 20? Shit, that's over 20% from here. Let's see. All right, so that's Bitcoin. It's still inside this like $12,000 trading range. We've been in this thing since, I guess it entered it in May. Didn't really establish it until middle May, and then we've kind of been just stuck in there, and we're near the top of that. I anticipate we're going to break through. Reason I was saying that is based on the TSI and the MACD, and those were pretty bullish. So, I really did. I thought we would push up faster than we have. We, obviously we still can. Markets are closing now. Hopefully somebody dropped that shit in Discord for me. Just a second here.
And then I sort of stumbled into this partnership a few months later because 7 members of the family said, we want you to handle our investments. And I didn't want to do it one at a time or tell them what I was doing. So I put the 7 together in a partnership that had $105,100 in it. You can guess who the $100 was.
Yes,
and I thought that was it. And a few months later, a fellow named Homer Dodge, who had been a stockholder of Graham Newman, came out, saw me in Omaha, and he said Graham Newman was liquidating, and he said he'd asked Ben where to put his money, and said maybe Warren would be a good choice. So he joined me for, I think, about $100,000 at the time. And then 4 months later, some fellow in Omaha that read the legal notice, actually, a friend of mine called me up, said, what are you doing? And I told him, and he did it. So yeah, I just kind of stumbled along.
Yeah. All of a sudden you have a partnership,
right,
and you're making money.
And I couldn't sell Keo now, understand? But the partnership did well. And part of the partnership was buying what looked like cheap stocks. Berkshire Hathaway looked like a cheap stock. It was a terrible business.
What was your ambition then? Now you have a vehicle.
Yeah. Well, I started out by thinking I was a textile expert, but I was disabused of that notion fairly fast. I really did. I thought, what do these guys know about making textiles? They've only been doing it a few hundred years. I mean, the Egyptians, I think, figured out how to weave. So,
but I've been in Omaha for a while.
That's right.
I know a lot about textiles.
Just turn me loose at the plant and see what happens. So anyway, what happened was right at that period, the textile business was good for a very short period of time. And so I was like a duck floating on a pond when it was raining. I was going.
All right, man. Sorry about that. Hold on. God damn it. Someone said no more just now. We just have some things for time frame shit we're having to get worked out. Hopefully we get all that worked out. Let's see. I'm gonna post that Buffett link down there. I've been listening to this Buffett interview. It's pretty good, man. Let's keep going. We did all right, so looking at the NASDAQ here, we got the NASDAQ composite, dude, coming in 20,409. We hit the 70 RSI last week. Almost always that brings the market down. What hopefully we'll see is that what was this target here, let's see if we can edit some of this. What was this target here becomes new support. And that's typically what happens. Previous resistance, once price breaks through that, it tends to hold up. And I mean, I immediately assume that's going to be the next, that'll be support. And maybe it runs up a little bit. It'll run up and then that'll pull it back. And if it just bounces around in here, up in the highs here, it could work off the RSI. And you'll see it come down. Well, the RSI doesn't, you don't have to pull it back, you don't have to, price doesn't have to drop necessarily to work off an overbought situation. So all the RSI indicator is, it's an oscillator. It's measuring price velocity. How fast did something move? If it moved too fast, too soon, it takes time for price to now what did I say earlier? Regurgitated, I think was the word that I used. It has to sit with it for a while, and that takes time, man. So hopefully what we're going to get here is that it just holds this spot, digests it, pulls back the RSI, and then we take off again. And we can see some catch up. It's interesting to me that Uber ran. Let's see. No. Get back down here. It's NASDAQ composite. Got copper moving higher. Gold. Strength of the uptrend is breaking down. Prices now. It did appear that it was breaking down, but looks like we have a new anchor point. And if you look at, honestly, if you look at the gold chart, it looks like the Bitcoin chart. In May over here, right over here, actually it was sooner for gold. Gold went into this trading range around April. And if you look on the chart, you'll see it hit, and then basically it's been sideways since then. Let's see. And silver is where I've made some catch-up money. If you weren't in gold, a lot of times you'll see a delay in the let's see. Luke says Jess wrote a really nice article on actively listening last weekend. She's still around. Yeah, of course. Texting with her right now. Let's see. Yeah. Let her know what everybody was asking about her. Let's see. Dow Jones sitting at 44,406. And we have a doji reversal bar marking the top where we got an extreme RSI. So, man, we're seeing across the indexes, across these indexes, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing all these, we're seeing the indexes, the S&P. Now we just saw the Dow hitting these 70 RSIs. The fact that we have bonds selling off into that. Check the bonds here. Yeah, I mean, today bonds closed underneath the 20-day moving average. It's pretty bearish. So I think if people were too worried that the market was going to head down, sure seems like they would be buying these bonds. We don't see that happening. And we got a huge trading range here for bonds, like from $91 on TLT down to about, what is it, 82, 81? Fuck, that's a, oh, shit, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. All right, so over here on the TLT, we have this pretty large trading range. It's like from basically 92 to 82. It's a pretty good sized trading range there, man. Man. Let's see. What's up, Frank? How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, we got bonds. I mean, we hit it right here. Hit a doji right at the 200, but it wasn't extreme, so I didn't get too worried about it. Get back on wind here. All right, look at this silver. Silver coming back, man. What's up? What's up, man? What's up, Gavin? Hope you're doing well. We're just sitting there looking at some of the wind here. We got all the major indexes bumping up against 70 RSIs. I think they worked a little bit off today. We got bonds turned down. Silver went up. Gold and Bitcoin seem to be holding their trading range. I'm in futures contracts. This says June. It's actually rolled to July. If you're trading futures over at Coinbase, where I've been trading them for Bitcoin, if you haven't already, hit that QR code or go to the link over there. I'll post a link in the right over here in the comments. If you want to, we're trying to keep just a little closer eye on Bitcoin, man. Let's see. Let's get back on this silver. Need to see the USO here. I mean, look at the Dow, man. Bam. Just right there. Just hits that shit. Have you looked at UUP recently? Let's pull up the dollar. My man's talking about the dollar there. Now gold, looks like gold made a little bit of a comeback today. Not much. It didn't sell off. S&P is broke through. It's still on a 68 RSI. Man, that's out there, huh? Let's see. Here we go. Oh, USO. That's what I was looking for. So it looks like oil busted through. So I thought so. That's why they just haven't updated Brent yet. So we got oil breaking through the 20-day moving average. That's nice. I've got some oil futures contracts over at Coinbase. We're long oil. Let's see. Huh. That's where we're at with the wind, man. We got the wrong one. We've got all the indexes seem to be holding. They're all pushing up against extreme RSIs, all-time highs. You can keep having all-time highs. Don't let that make a lot of times people hear that term all-time highs and they're like, man, things got to sell off. It doesn't have to. you can just keep having another all-time high, and another all-time high, and another all-time high, and you'll just see, stock may put in 30 or 40 all-time highs that year. So don't let that too much. Let's see. I meant to show the comments on stage, man. Damn. Don't let that too much mess with you. Let's see. Where's up? My man said, let's look at the dollar. Yeah. I mean, look, this is what he's talking about. The dollar is doing pretty much the exact opposite of what gold and Bitcoin have been doing. A little bit of a spread there. You see the spread kind of widening here. That widening at the bottom tends to be where it starts to kind of put in a bottom as it starts to turn, Now, what we're seeing here looks like, well, let me look at this. Well, the first thing that jumps off at me here, if we're looking at, oh shit, there we go. All right, we're looking at the dollar, and that's where I realized I didn't have it on stage here. Look at this downslope. This is the US dollar. So the dollar is dropping in value to assets, right? So as gold goes higher, as Bitcoin goes higher, as the stock market goes higher, NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow Jones, you're seeing the dollar come down. And so you have this reverse correlation. As the dollar down, stocks up, dollar up, stocks down, is the way it tends to be, the way it tends to behave. Now, the big concern here for me, just technically looking at this, is we have a major asset, the dollar, trading way below its 200-day moving average. And we have what is possibly the start of breaking out of this channel, taking the dollar higher, which would then bring down the market, in theory. It's not always a perfect correlation, but that's tends to be. Can't see my screen, huh? Let me try something here. Pete said he could see it. Interesting. Well, some of you couldn't see it. You've seen it now. All good. Appreciate you, Lisa. So I'll go back and show you what I was looking at here, since we're looking at wins today. So we've looked at all the indexes, and we see that the three biggies, they've all run up, hit the stream RSIs. Now they're probably building out either a stage 3 that becomes a stage 1 or a stage 3 that's going to roll over. If it's going to roll over, it doesn't spend a whole lot of fucking time doing it, right? So we probably wouldn't have that much time. It would roll pretty quick. But we have this sloping down channel. Now, what I was saying is when the dollar goes down, if you notice, this is a sloping down. Well, what's been happening with the market? It's been going up. So as the dollar down, market up. There's a correlation there. Take these down a little bit. Let's see. Now I'm constantly looking for, can I see, look at this. You can see where it bounces off it. And so you got a well-established channel here. But, the indicators are given some sort of a possible bullish turnaround. We've got it way underneath the 200 and a possible bottom there. Now, what do you say? What do I mean by the bottom? And what I'm talking about there is, this anchor and then right in here, right? And so now that gives us what we call support, right? So if you look at charts that I put up, this will be the support area. That's what this is here. And so if you look at the charts that I put up, and that's usually what happens there on the bottom, you'll start to get it where it's moving away from the downsloping channel, right? Any of you guys that ever day trade with me, we'll see that a lot. We'll see that pattern a lot. What's up, Tim? Hope you're doing good. Man, it's good to see everybody back. Yeah. And so with the dollar being underneath the 200, that's when I want to buy a commodity. That's when I want to get on Bitcoin if I can. That's when I want to get on anything that I can, a copper, gold, a bond, an oil company, anything that produces cash flow, right? And it gets below that 200, it's definitely something you got to keep an eye on or watch. It's definitely, especially as a world major asset like the US dollar is. Unfortunately, there's this inverse correlation between the dollar and the stock market. If you don't know about that, maybe read up a little bit on it. It's not exact, but when the dollar goes up, right, that means these assets, the value of the dollar has gone up, making American assets less attractive. That's what that is. So if overseas they could buy these shares cheaper that way, man. Let's see here.
By winds, but it was that damn rain that was coming down. And then when it quit raining, I found out, what do I know? Right. Yeah. And then we went into other businesses.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, was it you went into other businesses, meaning you had some cash flow coming in?
We had some cash, not very much,
yeah.
But we had some cash around. And when Jack Ringwalt decided to sell his insurance companies in early '67, we paid $8.7 million, I think, 8.4 million, I guess it was 8.4 million. And we had in Berkshire, we had, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 million around. Maybe we borrowed a few million. But
so that was your first entry into the insurance business. Why was the insurance business attractive?
Well, it does control money, and if you've got somebody that's doing a decent job on the insurance end in underwriting, it gives you money to invest on my end.
How much of your revenue comes from the insurance business?
Well, a lot comes from insurance, and then we have a lot of money that's generated by insurance. Right. So insurance has propelled our growth. There's no question about that.
Because it gave you money to
gave us money to both invest in marketable securities and also money to buy businesses outright.
And then in 1965, you have a chance to take over.
Right.
Berkshire. What happened?
After a while, I realized what a lousy business I was in. And we didn't get out of the textile business, but I decided that to the extent we could, we'd try to add on other things. Interestingly enough, Charlie, I'd have been better off if I'd done all the subsequent things without putting them in Berkshire originally. If you just talk financially, Berkshire, the textile business was a drag for 20 years. So if instead of buying these things for Berkshire, we just bought them in the separate entity.
Then why didn't you do that?
I don't know. But it worked out fine. But I don't know.
But everything worked out. But if you look back,
looking back, it was a big fundamental wrong decision from a financial standpoint.
To get involved in the textile business at all.
Yeah.
Hey, so listen to what Buffett's saying there. I just canceled the one. What Buffett is saying there, his biggest financial mistake was actually buying Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway was the name of a textile business. McDonald's. Man, I like this setup here. I like this McDonald's setup. It should look familiar to you. Sugarlum says he's getting some payments. MSTY and SMCY payments. Nice. If you guys are not involved, I know most of you guys are probably involved in the second income stream. I'm going to get some people on the podcast so we can talk about it. Seems like people are either in it or scared of it, So I'm trying to get them to use money that they're not scared about. It's the best way to do it. Use enough that you're not scared. We don't get McDonald's very often underneath this 200, like we were just talking about with the dollar. We don't often, or I don't often notice McDonald's. See, it bounced off the 200 there, bounced off the 200 here. We put in a doji anchor point right here. Let's put a doji anchor, DA. DA, boom, crossed over. Let's see. Yeah, we got a top up in here. Anybody know offhand, what does Morningstar say McDonald's fair value is? I'm going to say it's around 315. I'm just guessing. If anybody knows, drop that in the comments. I appreciate it. So this was one of my picks of the week that I thought if the market can hold up, this shouldn't break down. Anchor, boom, here's our entry. Right here. If you're watching close and now you know where this is where you have support here, it's held up several times. So interesting. 312. Appreciate you guys. Tush 312. Sure, Lumpsy threw his out there too. What is going on here? Well, let me get out of these things here. Man. 312. Stop sharing. Let's see. Yeah. So look where the previous high is, okay? I mean, that's why I said that. You know, these, you know, stocks like this, these premium type stocks, man, they trade tight like that. It's gonna, you know, probably have a fairly good beta against the market. If you don't know what beta is, beta's let me see if I can show you an example. Let's see what the beta is on. Man. Ugly day, huh? All right, so here we are inside of one of my accounts. McDonald's, 58 shares. Price I paid, average was 123. Used to be a lot lower. Up $9,950. So up 10 grand. 136%. Let's see. Oh, beta. Duh. Point two. Market cap for McDonald's, 210 billion. You think it'd be bigger. But beta right here next to shares outstanding says beta is a statistical measure that compares the volatility of a security to a market benchmark, what we call the WIN, in this case the SPX or S&P, using 5 years of price history. So what it's doing, it's comparing the movement of the S&P with the movement of McDonald's. Somebody says, Sugar Lump says, Bitto pays tomorrow. Now, if you don't know, I recommend E-Trade and then M1 Finance and Coinbase as brokerages. M1 Finance, you can leverage against BITO. So you can buy BITO and then borrow against BITO and buy more BITO if you wanted to. They won't let you do that over at E-Trade. Different companies have different something else to think in. So, okay, we have this perfect little setup. Nice little stage one right here on McDonald's trading at 293. We got an anchor point there around the 285. It's a doji. Boom. Like the setup. We're over at E-Trade. We looked at the beta. These are things that I might quickly scan. And if this beta had been, this is real low. This seems like it's too low to me. Let's check Uber. Uber's got to be like 1.8 or 2 or something. Let's see. All right, so see the beta is 1.2. Well, 1 beta means it's tracking with the S&P. So this shows you that Uber runs hotter than the S&P. If it's below 1, it runs below the S&P, meaning it runs slower. So AT&T is probably like 0.5. Let's see. Yeah, so look, beta 0.2. 0.2. So 1 means you're tracking in line with the S&P. 1 point whatever means you're that much more volatile than, really it's volatility, than the S&P. All right, that's beta. So if you're looking for something with a high beta, you may hear them say that. That means they're looking for something that'll move. Like that would be a TQQ. So 3x. So it should show 3. Let's see. Oh, they don't show. Yeah, that's right. It's not a stock. Oh, Proctor Gamble. This was the other one that I liked. These are the ones that just jumped off at me this week. Now, Proctor and Gamble were trading below the 200. Caught my attention. Right there. Boom. Golden line. Now, look what happens here. Goes below the 200. I'm sorry. Here we go. So here's Procter & Gamble. One thing you're going to notice, very similar to the McDonald's chart. We have a pretty wide range here from 156 to 176. I mean, that's a $20 range, man. That's pretty big on a stock. So this is one I would look to pay options on. We're getting the breakout. We've got the base. I mean, look at this is a perfect money flow pattern. 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1. I mean, you're seeing it. 1, 3, 1. So, let's clear this out. And we got a blue chip, and we got a dividend stock, and it's below the 200. To me, these are no-brainers, man. Procter & Gamble, McDonald's. As long as the market holds up, these things go higher, man. These things go higher. What's up, Michael Crow? Michael, we're over there at the YouTube. Got about 67, 70 people on YouTube. Got a little over 20 on Instagram. Appreciate everybody showing up. If you don't know, if you hit that QR code, you can get on my new letter I've been putting out here on Bitcoin. This is new. Interested in working on that with me. Hit me up, man. Still flexible with how we're looking at it. What's the purpose of it? Obviously, to track the price of Bitcoin 24/7 and to make some goddamn money off it. Does MFG have support for UK members? Shahid, man, we've been waiting on you to show up, baby. That's going to be your job. We need you to be support for the UK. Anyway, if you guys hit that QR code, you can get signed up on that letter. We're putting out 3 different subsects. This one's right now is free. We're also going to be tracking BITO and some, maybe a couple stocks around the crypto space, but that's not really the point of it. Yeah, margin gets weird over margin is weird in Europe. It can be different. You just got to read up on it. And in addition to that, some cultures, some religions, you're not allowed to borrow money, and margin is considered borrowing money. It seems like if you put your own money up as collateral, it would be different than, I'm sure the intent of why they don't want them borrowing money. They don't want them paying interest is usually what it is, I think, is the reason. I think that's the reason. Let's see. All right, so McDonald's and Proctor Gamble, and I really like this Proctor Gamble, man. It seems very difficult for me to believe it doesn't go to 165. It's only a $5 move. What is that? That's not even a couple percent, really. But, I mean, if we get running, does anybody know what Morningstar has for Procter & Gamble as true value? She says you need to earn 6 figures to gain access or have at least $250K in assets to achieve accredited investor status. Why would you? So you have to be a full-blown accredited investor to get any margin? In America, you only need $2,500 in there. Now, to be a day trader, to be bona fide day trader, if you were to be a bona fide day trader, you're going to need $25,000. Let's see. I'm looking for something here.
Right. Now Mama's got us back to work. That's a maiden name. You got a maiden name, Daddy?
No, Daddy don't have a maiden name.
That's your misfortune. That's right. And now Mama's got a new beau. He's a suitor.
He's the suitor.
I heard about that.
Mama says that he's bona fide.
He's bona fide.
You give her a ring?
Yes, sir. Big and got it, Jim. Mama checked it. It's bona fide. He's a suitor.
What's his name?
Vernon T. Waldrop. Uncle Vernon. Till tomorrow. Then he's gonna be Daddy.
Daddy.
I am the only daddy.
Man, come on, man. Bona fide. Now, in America, to be bona fide, all you need to have is $2,000, and you can appreciate you, my man. $2,000, and you can start to borrow. You're just not considered a day trader, and you can't take day trades. Good thing I'm doing 80 hours a week. Appreciate you, Carson. My man says, Shahid says, good thing I'm doing 80 hours a week, swing trading, and then pumping my ETP, the equivalent of the yield max, currently at $350 a month in dividends. Okay. We're doing it in the Middle East too. And if you haven't noticed, if you go over to the Yield Max website, if you're living outside of America, they now have Yield Max for Pas de Famille. What's up, Carlos? What's up, man? So easy trade here. I like this Procter & Gamble. I like the McDonald's setup. Those were the two that jumped off at me. Yeah, that was it, man. Nike. A bunch of these have already run. We got oil running now. So, I think that's it, man. We covered everything. I don't see a big sell-off coming right now. I don't see it coming, man.
Bitcoin, besides it just gather value.
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point
man,
want
you guys
to sell
do
the
good.
assets out of profit.
People
Now that McDonald's
that use
Procter & Gamble.
fiat currency as a store of value. We call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them
them poor. There's a name for them. We call them the poor. We call them the poor. Okay?
Right? Like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right. I mean, right. But I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as
Forever, Laura.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor.